All right, so this is going to be a completely unorganized, just totally off the top of my head vlog on this guy, Mark Passio. I'm blown away again at his just brilliance, absolute brilliance of this presentation, called The Unholy Feminine and Satanic Epi-Eugenics, Free Your Mind, Part 4. I believe it was given in 2016. I saw it in about 2017-ish, and I only watched about the first hour of it. I'm really sorry that I did. I don't think I was ready mentally at that time to take in what he had to say. I was on weed and doing a bunch of different stuff in my life and going through a really bad breakup and trying to get into pickup and game and going out and things like that. And so I just was not in the right mind state to hear what this guy has to say. And it's absolute brilliance, absolute brilliance. And it's just an absolute travesty that there's only 87,000 views on his first part 1 of this presentation and only 37,000 views on part 2. This is absolutely the best presentation I've ever seen, hands down, in my life. I mean, it encapsulates and sums up MGTOW philosophy to a T, although he's not, strictly MGTOW. I don't even think he is a MGTOW. I don't even think he proposes himself to be MGTOW. However, this is the essence of MGTOW, what MGTOW is all about, which is just walking away from this current downward spiral that we have with men-women dynamics and relationships, which is just nothing short of a tragedy in and of itself. Of course, you can throw in liberalism, neo-feminism, neo-Marxism, whatever, all these new things that have come in, these new ways of thinking, these new wave, third wave feminism, etc. This neo-liberal kind of mindset, which pushes this really, it's a satanic agenda, and he breaks it down more clear, more precise, and more exact. And the word, it's like he stole the words out of my mouth. Like he stole every word out of my heart. Every word he is speaking is so exact and precise. Every word in every sentence he's saying is absolute brilliance, in the sense that it is so exact and so concise and so perfect. Literally every word that is coming out of this guy's mouth, every sentence, every phrase that is coming out of this guy's mouth is 100% unvarnished, brutal, whether you like it or not, truth of what's going on today. And it is so perfect. I'm absolutely blown away. And I'm only 5 minutes into part 2. I'm sure it's just absolutely astounding the rest of the way. I only watched part 1 for the last 2 hours. I'd say from about 50 minutes in to about 150 roughly. So about an hour of the first presentation, about 5 minutes into the new presentation. Everything is just so precise. From when he starts talking about Satanism, what Satanism really is, and how Satanism is really implemented into society, is absolutely brilliant and so perfect. And he talks about how the females are programmed to be a certain way and to seek after certain kinds of guys, and this is literal programming that is being programmed into the female psyche to seek out certain biological traits in men, which is programming, literally programming, from television, media, etc., even politics, right? I mean, we see this now with with this neoliberal movement and this new age movement that's going on, which is just satanic and disgusting, immoral, etc. And he breaks all this down precisely. It's so clear, and it just clears up everything that I've been going through in the last 10 to 15 years with my dating. Absolutely blows it all out of the water. Like, this is it to a T. This is what women are seeking. This is what women are doing, and they're being programmed, literally programmed, and their parents don't know, society doesn't know, and everybody is just in this sort of zombie state because they've been programmed to behave this way, programmed to think this way, programmed to seek after these certain types of values, which are fundamentally unhealthy, divisive, fundamentally inhuman, and ultimately create weakness, tear down the nuclear family, etc. He gets into all of this with precise detail, and this is what I've been trying to say. This is like what he says in this, I believe it's about 4 or 5 hour presentation total. The second one is about 2.5 hours. The first one I think is maybe an hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So what's that? 4.5 hours. And it's just perfect. I mean, he talks about hypergamy, he talks about myths of male privilege. He talks about programming in television. He talks about, desires and reasons why women seek after men for certain reasons, and the type of reason why they go after guys with money and all this. And it's like, it is so precise. So you guys, I mean, you just got to watch it. So this is just, like I said, off the dome, off the top of my head thoughts on this. Just absolutely mind-blowing how precise this guy is. And he's just a regular guy. And it's like, I don't even know. Like I said, I watched it about a year ago. I watched about the first hour of it. In the first hour, I said in a different video that it's a bit boring the first hour, for some reason. At least that's what I remember back in 2017 when I watched it. Like I said, today I just skipped over that whole first hour, due to luck and serendipity, and boom, here I am on the about 50 minutes in, right when he starts talking about what Satanism really is and how he used to be in the satanic cult, and so he knows exactly what it is, and he just breaks it down perfectly. Now he encapsulates all other kind of conspiracy theories. I've watched conspiracy theories since about 2012. I've been watching conspiracy theory videos. I think one of the first conspiracy theory videos I ever watched was Zeitgeist back in like 2011, 2010, around there. This is a long time ago. And it's just like he just concisely consolidates and compilates all that information, and he just right to a T. And it's like, this is the purpose of all these conspiracies. They're trying to get at the female. Why? Because the female is the one who sets trends. The female is the one who sets dating and relationship trends. The female is the one who is the object of men's desire. So the female actually sets the trends for how the males behave, right? So they're trying to get at the female so that they can affect the males, and so therefore they can, by proxy, rule society subconsciously, psychologically, through programming, through brainwashing in the media. And this is like, I've been watching like a lot of B.O.B. videos, rap videos, and I used to really be into like Immortal Technique. I used to really be into like just conspiracy rappers. Joe Rogan used to talk about conspiracies, and of course Alex Jones, but he, his whole joke of a life and, his whole joke of a career, whatever, went to nothing. But, Alex Jones, of course, was a proponent of that. Before that, it was people like Bill Hicks, a little bit of Bill Hicks's comedy, and George Carlin, and certain people who brought out the idea of rebelling and the idea of thinking for yourself, and these ideas of stepping outside of society and taking the red pill. And of course you have movies like Fight Club, you have movies like The Matrix, right? All these things that I touched when I was younger and that I got into, but they're just pieces of it. And it's like, this is the penultimate, this is the apex, this is like, he is just cuts right to the meat of all that. And he said, this is why it's control. They're trying to control females because they control the males. This is all satanic agenda. This is all satanic programming to control society through women, because women are such an integral and key piece and key part of society. Everybody thinks, oh, males are the ones who rule. Well, males do primarily what they do in order to impress women, in order to get women. So if you can, and women are, many people argue this, women are the weaker psychological and emotional, being. It's harder to reprogram and to brainwash men. It's easier to reprogram and brainwash women. However, women are the primary spenders. Women buy most of the goods. Women set most of the trends in society. And women are the ones who are leading males. Why? Because males actually are trying to get the women. So whatever the women are doing, the men are trying to do too. The men are trying to fit into those slots in order to get women. So if you can program and control and brainwash what the woman wants in a man, you can control society. Of course, I just said that this is a reiteration, but it's so clear to me now. And it's like, yes, this is what I've been going through. All the videos that I've been doing, every MGTOW thing I've studied, every red pill philosophy that I've read up on, everything that I've gone through in my personal life, my dating experiences, my failed love experiences, the reason why you can never find love, etc., the reason why women are always like this and like that, and it's just such nonsense. He sums it all up, and it's like, yes, yes, this is so perfect. This is absolutely 100% the unvarnished truth. Everybody needs to hear this. This will change society. This is what people need to hear. It's not necessarily MGTOW. Men don't necessarily need to run away from women. It's that we need to reprogram ourselves. We need to get out of this mental fog. We need to get out of this mental prison that we're in. And of course, listen to Bob Marley. Liberate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind, right? We have to free our own mind, and we have to start thinking outside the box. I stepped out of the matrix in 2002-ish, right around there, because I got personally sick. I lost everything that I had. I had a friend group, I had popularity, I had a bright future, I was on the sports team, etc. Girls were interested in me, and then I lost all that because I got ill. I lost all that because I got sick. So when that happened, I had to reassess everything that life was about. Why, when I lose my goals and everything that I have going for me, why does nobody want to associate with me anymore? I have no real bonds. Everything that I am bonded to is transient. Everything that I am bonded to is phony, and women are seeking after things that are flimsy, that could be taken away at any moment. Money, social status, resources, health, these things can be taken away. Well, if you take those things away, what's left? Love, support, faithfulness, real relationships, real bonding. That's what's left over. Family, those are the things that stand with you through your hard times. Those are the things that are a foundation. God, faith, things like that. They don't go away when you lose your social status, when you lose your resources. What does go away? Your friends, your friend group, your relationships with women, your job, your career, your money. All these things are transient. They don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Now, I'm not 100% sure if he gets into that. Like I said, I've only watched about 5 minutes of his part 2. He does talk about, he says that he's going to talk about some possible solutions. So I'm sure he really does talk about things right along that line. Like I said, I haven't got into it yet. I will soon. But those are the things that I've always been putting in my videos. I've always been putting those in my videos, that the answer is faithfulness. The answer is morality. The answer is real, genuine love. The answer is real, genuine relationships. This flimsy, fly-by-night, acquaintances, party friends, etc. Those things come and go. Those things don't matter. What matters in the long run is that, you have a foundational grounding in genuine, genuine character, genuine proponents of inward qualities, right? So I'm sure he really does talk about that as the answer. So the only thing that I would say so far that I disagree with him on is he, like I said in the beginning of his video, I believe that he talks about religion and how we are founded on a Puritan-based society when religious separatists came over from the UK back in the 1700s, when Columbus quote unquote discovered America or whatever. I would disagree that, well, he says that with the background of like, this is why, there's it's so frowned upon that sex is such a stigmatized act, and that it's so frowned upon, and we shame and we call women sluts and things like that. I disagree, because based on the fact that I do believe that actually that stigma makes our society over-sexualized, that stigma makes our society hypersexualized, because there's such a emphasis on not being that way. There's such an emphasis, well, you would think, and there are stigmas that place women in that viewpoint of being sluts, etc. And I don't necessarily think those stigmas are a bad thing. He views those stigmas as really bad for women, etc. I think that sex should be, but of course this is my faith-based, morality-based sort of opinion based on upbringing. I think that sex should be something that is not necessarily 100% relegated to love, but it's something that should be really seriously considered in the love based arena, because I think that if you go have random sex, there's a lot of negative things that can happen because of that. I think that actually he makes wonderful, great points about how sex is used as a tool to gain resources by women, etc. That type of stuff. However, I do think that sex is if it's just random and indiscriminate, it can really hurt society, and that's evident in, the massive amount of STDs. It's evident in the massive amounts of single mothers. It's evident in the rampant, prostitution, which I view pornography as just straight up prostitution. There's rampant pornography. All our beautiful young women are doing pornography, and it's supposedly to get rich or whatever. But it's, and people are slutting around. It's just what's going on. The idea that women are not promiscuous is pure nonsense. They're absolutely promiscuous. They're absolutely out there. It's just that they're playing into those hypergamous stereotypes that he talks about. He brings those things out. So it's not that women aren't having sex. They're just having sex with a certain type of guy. So his idea that women are slut shamed and that's wrong, I don't agree with that. I think that women there should be stigma there. I think that's a healthy stigma, because I think the nuclear family is the ultimate ensuring, the ultimate thing that is keeping society, the fabric of society together, is the fact that, the nuclear family is so important. And what is nuclear family based on? It's based on love in a real relationship where there's a pair bonding, which is based on faithfulness and love, and based on a real genuine mutuality of a relationship that has kids. And it's not based on money and things like that, which is what he puts in his presentation, which is perfect. It's just that so far he hasn't emphasized the importance of the nuclear family, which I would emphasize the importance of the nuclear family. Yes, like I said, some of that is based on my faith. Much of that is based on my faith, actually, but also it's based on the fact that I totally have seen what happens when women go out and they slut around. I've totally experienced, I've totally witnessed it, and it's not good. They lose their character, they hurt people, they have kids out of wedlock, they spread STDs. And sure, sex is great, it's amazing, and it's wonderful, it's so hot, and it's great, but it's like that for a reason. It's like that so that we can procreate. But if we're procreating in an abnormal way, then what do? We kill our babies, which is unhealthy for the soul of the mother. It's unhealthy for the soul of the father. I was in a situation where I had a woman lie and say she had a miscarriage when she was never pregnant in the first place. She just did it to keep me, because I was playing a game. I was playing the push and pull game, and she did it to keep me because she thought she was going to lose me. And it was not fun. It was not fun. It was very much heart-wrenching, because people think that guys don't care about kids. It's particularly these evil women in feminism say that guys don't care about kids and they just kill our kids, and it's sick. And guys 100% care about kids. Guys love their kids. So I had that happen to me, and so to say that abortion is an okay thing, and so it's okay to go out and have sex because you can just have an abortion. I think that's evil. I think that's sick. I've always thought that. Particularly because, like I said, I went through an experience where a woman lied and said she had a kid and she didn't. So at the end of the day, I know what it feels like to lose a kid, but there wasn't even there. She said she had a miscarriage, and I thought I had a kid that died, and it felt horrible. And I was like, man, I'm going to be a father. And then all of a sudden the kid died, and it's like, this is horrible. But it was just a lie. The whole thing was a lie, which should be illegal. But anyway, and it felt horrible. So I can only imagine how that feels on a mother to kill their kid, and they're trying to normalize that, which is sick. So you have that, and you have, like I said, STDs, you have broken hearts. So sleeping around, I don't think is a good thing. So that's the only thing that I disagree with Mark Passio on so far. I think the nuclear family should, and faith-based loving relationships should be the goal, should be the standard. But that's me. But anyways, aside from that, I'm going to end this here. I absolutely love this guy's presentation. It is so fantastic. Please go check it out. It's perfect. Like I said, it encapsulates all the conspiracy theories, breaks it down to a concise, this is exactly what's going on, this is why. And particularly even the MGTOW theories and things like that. It just breaks it all down, and it's so perfect. It's just everything everybody is saying. He just encapsulates it into this 4.5 hour conclusions, 4.5 hour presentation. Phenomenal, fantastic. All right, that's all I got to say for now. Thanks for listening to Jay Lee Northwest Podcast.